financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. A little bit different topic today. Today's topic is issues in the marketplace. Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
Jeffrey Linden.
Good morning, Ken. It's a pleasure to be
Jeffrey
here this
Kirshner.
Issues? I've got issues. I got plenty of issues.
You got issues, I've got issues.
We all have issues.
Wait a second. What was that all about?
I don't know, your voice changed and we got 3 tones lower and slow all of a sudden, like you're half asleep.
Okay.
Because he is half asleep.
Maybe I am half asleep. You know, some of us don't have the
Sunday
privilege of
mornings
drinking.
are for sleeping
Yeah,
in.
some of us don't have the privilege of drinking coffee because some of
Coffee's
us
for
don't like
closers.
coffee.
Do you still drink Diet Coke?
Oh, like by the gallon, yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
actually now drink the newest Coke Zero, which is Coke no sugar or no sugar, whatever.
So
it
like
is.
if we just give you a piece of meat, it just evaporates in your stomach from all the acid from the Coke that you drink? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good diet.
I'm being trashed on social media. Topic number 1 for issues in the marketplace.
Okay.
I see this all the time. As a business lawyer, my client calls me up and says, this person put a negative review up on Google or on Facebook. What can I do? It's a big problem in the marketplace. It is not easy to get Facebook, and I think it's virtually impossible to get Google to take it down. They all have procedures. You follow the procedures and nothing happens.
Right.
They don't have people like the old world. There used to be a world where you could go like this. Yes, I'd like to talk to a representative, please.
Press
One
1.
that speaks English.
Press 2.
Yes, I have a
Press
problem that I'd like to discuss with a person. Is there anybody there that I can talk to? Excuse me, I don't want to talk to a computer. I want to talk to a person. Is there someone I can talk to? I have a serious problem. It's an emergency.
Beep.
If you'd like to replay these options, hit 9 to
Hit
replay
9.
your options on the.
Right, we can hear what you said.
I hope you guys caught that look because I put myself in the mode of how I feel when I'm going through that. And it's a regular basis. You can't talk to anybody anymore. So what do you do
Well, with
in
Google
this instance?
and Facebook, there isn't even a phone number that you can find
No,
to call.
and I've gone to the point where this is what I used in the financial crisis for mortgage problems, and I'm still using it. When I have a problem with a lender, I send a FedEx letter to the CEO and the general counsel of the corporation. And I have found in almost every instance, the CEO does not call me back, nor does the general counsel of a big company. But they immediately refer the file to someone in their department whose job it is to resolve problems. And I found that that's a good way of getting a fast solution. Do that with Google. It's like that $65 for the FedEx expense. Could have just taken a match and burned the dollars. No response. Not, we've received your response, we'll reply at our convenience. Nothing. The arrogance is annoying. But the question is, so what can you do? Well, there's one remedy that works. It has expense and it has risk in some respects, but you can bring a defamation action. You can threaten the person who put the post up with the defamation action if you know who the person is that put the post up. On Google, you don't necessarily know. All it has is their email address or their pseudonym. You don't know who it is necessarily. If you do know who it is,
Bob from Poughkeepsie just left you a 1-star review.
but what's a defamation action? If somebody's made an untrue statement of fact that causes you injury that's not privileged, because there's a privilege in the media and there's a privilege with respect to public personalities that you can kind of defame them, and it's a much higher standard to sue them for a defamation action than a normal layperson. But if it's not privileged, you can bring an action for defamation.
But the problem is that a lot of times people are upset because of what people say, but it's opinion. It's not necessarily stating fact, and that's where a huge dispute is.
It usually is opinion, but the strategy that you employ, that I employ as the employer, is I accuse them of not being opinion. I say that it's fact, and the first step is we send out a letter.
Right.
We accuse them of libel, defamation, written libel, and we threaten them to sue them, and we say to them, you must retract immediately, and as far as the retraction goes, you must immediately take down the posting. If you do, we will not pursue the claim. If you don't, we're filing suit. I've done that several times, and every time they have actually taken down the site, the posting. It doesn't mean it'll always work. If they refuse, what do? Then you have to file the lawsuit, or you can't get that item down. And the other thing that we always worry about is when you do that, what if they take the aggressive position and go and start posting more and turn a small problem into a bigger problem? So it's a very difficult problem for the business that gets that negative review. Now, there are companies that you hire, but I think and I'm not really familiar with how they work, but I think the strategy in Google is to put more and more reviews on there so that the negative review falls down on the page. It's not a question. They don't have connections with Google to get them to take the posting out. But those are difficult situations, and there's no good, clear remedy.
There are marketing companies, though, you're right, and I've been approached by them, and I know certain attorneys who are huge advertisers. These people go nameless, but part of their marketing strategy is that they hire marketers that come. Now, their posts aren't necessarily false when people are giving praise to them, but they are aggressively going out and finding people to say nice things. Now, maybe co-employees in the company, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're burying the negative posts.
They bury the negatives, and they also have strategies on how to cultivate and mine positive posts and to avoid negative posts that they employ, which are valid strategies that you want to explore in order to protect yourself. Take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about protecting your rights when making a purchase. We have a program. We've already developed it and put it in place, and we've been waiting for the rollout for the moratorium to go down. It's called the Eviction Defense Program, the EDP by THAV GROSS, and we've developed it and put it in play. But here's the big point, which you were making. You're going to get evicted if you're a tenant, and you need to get on top of this, and you need to defend it, and you need to do everything you can to protect your interests. And the last thing that you want to do is do nothing.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
You're all set to retire. You have your home paid off, money in the bank, and sound investments. But if you're not careful, all the things that you work so hard for can disappear. At Samasco Financial, we'll help you prevent that. We go beyond ordinary asset management. We'll safeguard everything that you have by creating a plan made specifically for you. How much can you afford to lose? Nothing. Protect the people that you love and the things that you have. Call Samasco Financial today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress.
Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Okay, common problem people have. How to protect your rights when making a purchase. So at the break, before getting into what I have in the outline, you said American Express.
Put it on your American Express card if you have one. You shouldn't be using your credit cards, everybody, but if you're going to use your credit card, remember to pay it off at the end of the month completely.
All right, but how does it work? What's the benefit of American Express versus using
They double your warranty.
Chase? So what if there is no warranty? 2 times 0 is 0.
I don't know the answer to that question. That's a really good one. But I do know that recently...
So if your warranty is 1 month, they give you an extra month?
I suppose.
Yeah, but Ken, you might have heard that there are implied warranties with everything, whether it's a written warranty or not.
Implied warranty of merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose.
Exactly. So there are warranties even if they're not stated. But they do
How do you double that?
Huh?
How do you double an implied
If you
warranty?
buy a defective product and you have a problem, American Express is actually pretty good about helping you out.
When they say they double it, they give you twice the value of the goods?
No,
twice the period.
Twice the period.
So
like,
the manufacturer's warranty is a year.
So if I buy a house and it comes with a 1-year warranty, if I put my house on American Express, I get a 2-year warranty?
These are excellent questions.
we'll get back to you after we call. We'll call American Express and get back to you.
Or make it a small house so it's within your credit
But they're
limit.
really, some of these, I assume the credit card companies, there's various credit card companies that offer the same service.
Right.
But the reality is I found American Express to be very good about supporting you.
Are you an agent of American
Not a
Express?
chance.
Okay.
Not a
But
chance.
there are
wait,
also-
how long you know me? Do I like any bank whatsoever at all?
So there are some merchants, though, that are actually excellent about that, too. The best example is Costco. Costco is phenomenal.
Nordstrom also.
Costco is phenomenal. If you have a problem, no matter how long you've had the product, you go in with the receipt.
They just take it
typically don't
back.
ask questions. Yeah.
You know what?
Costco's always very good.
I learned how that works a long time ago with Kmart back in the days because I had a client that was finally got the opportunity to put their products in Kmart, which in the heyday that was a great thing. You're in all 5,000 stores or however many stores that they had, and I read the terms of that agreement. And what the terms of the agreement said is, you will take back anything that we give you anytime for any reason under any circumstance. Otherwise, you are out. So, and I'm sure Costco has the same agreement. So yeah, they take it all back and they send it back to whoever they bought it from, and those are the ones that absorb the cost. But it's still a good situation. All right, now change it a little bit. Let's talk about you're buying a car, or you have a problem with the car, or you're negotiating a contract with somebody. Contracts, basic contract law. You always have an issue is it a contract involving the sale of goods or non-goods? And the reason is this. If it's a contract involving the sale of goods, Uniform Commercial Code applies, which is the Uniform Commercial Code in Michigan, and those are the rules that govern the contract. If it's not goods, what are not goods? Services are not goods, real estate are not goods. Then the common law applies. Just something to put in the back of your mind for a second. Next question. Can a contract be verbal? Or does it, everyone always says it has to be in writing. Does it have to be in writing?
No.
No.
The answer is no. It has to be in writing if the statute of frauds applies. And what a statute of frauds is, isn't the word fraud like fraudulent, it's a statute. And it says certain types of contracts, and there are 4 types, need to have a writing. Anything involving real estate needs a writing. Contract for the sale of goods, price of $1,000 or more, has to be in writing. It used to be $500 or more when I went to law school, but they bumped the number up. Okay, I don't know why. It was only 40 years ago that I went to law school. Contract that cannot be performed. Contract that cannot be performed within 1 year from the date of its making. So if I hire you to do photography work at my home verbally, and it's going to be in the next month, that doesn't have to be in writing. But if I'm committing to hire you on an exclusive basis for 5 years to do all photography work, that would have to be in writing because it can't be performed within 1 year of the date of its making.
He's clearly not seen my capacity as a photographer. No one would ever hire me as a photographer.
Certainly less than $1,000.
And the fourth category is a guarantee or a suretyship. If you a contract to answer for the duty of another person. If you're going to guarantee an obligation, that has to be a writing. Now, what writing satisfies the statute of frauds? You don't need this fancy long contract. You need a writing signed by the party to be charged. You need the person you're trying to enforce the contract against, you need their signature on it.
Right.
Classic example, remember the Schembechler debate with Tom Monahan when he was being hired as the manager for the Tigers?
Napkin.
They made it on a napkin. They settled that case, but that napkin had the signature of Monahan on it, and all it needs is initials. So that's an important aspect. Another key rule is defective goods. If you buy something and it's a good, it's a movable item, you have remedies that under the Uniform Commercial Code called the perfect tender rule, which means when you receive the goods, if it's not a perfect tender, not 100% conforming to the product, you can return it. You have a right of rejection. You must do that in a reasonable period of time. If too long passes, you have a secondary remedy, which is revoking your acceptance, but there has to be a material impairment in the terms of the contract. So you buy a car, and you drive it off the lot, and it's shaking and doing all sorts of terrible things. And you turn around and you drive it back to the dealership, and you pull into the parking lot and you say, the car is defective, I don't want it. What does the dealership say to you?
Too bad.
You bought the car, go to the service department. You were on to say, I don't want to go to the service department, I don't want this car. The service manager says, no, come to the service department, we'll take care of you. We'll take a break, we'll decide what happens.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Time for announcements. So I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9, 7 o'clock Sundays every morning. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. We do them via Zoom conferences, teleconference, or in office with proper social distancing in place during COVID. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up. Debt issues with Brian, tax issues with Jeff and Brian, estate planning issues with Brian, business issues with myself, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Just come in, request a free consult. We're happy to help you out. Our free consults are not meet and greets. We analyze your problem, we look at it, we come up with the solution that you need to do so you know what the method and process is to solve the problem, what it costs, and what the time frame is. Easiest way is just call us, 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. We'll get you in and go over it. We have free reports on the websites. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by myself and Jeff Linden. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formation, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And also the Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
We have a program. We've already developed it and put it in place, and we've been waiting for the rollout for the moratorium to go down. It's called the Eviction Defense Program, the EDP by THAV Gross, and we've developed it and put it in play. But here's the big point, which you were making. You're going to get evicted if you're a tenant, and you need to get on top of this, and you need to defend it, and you need to do everything you can to protect your interests. And the last thing that you want to do is do nothing. Okay. I bought this new car. I don't want it. Just driving it back into the dealership and leaving it, I can reject it. But what am I going to do? I'm going to run to the office first, and I'm going to write out a letter, and I'm going to say, this car, which I purchased 3 hours ago, is defective. The engine is rumbling. The lights are going hysterical on the dashboard. I reject this vehicle, and I'm going to leave it with the dealer with that letter. And actually, I'm also going to send that letter, certified return receipt as well, so I have proof that I've done it, and I walk away from the vehicle. That's a valid rejection, even though the employer, the dealership's going to try and say, you're still bound by it. But there is a basis of doing that. Let me give you an example on the statute of frauds. True life example, goes back many, many years. I used to tell this story when I used to teach a business law class for CPAs that were trying to pass the CPA exam. It's called Persowinski, used to be the program that I used to teach for. When I was engaged, we had to buy our first bedroom set. I was in law school at the time. I was in my 3rd year of law school, so I hadn't graduated yet. Bonnie and I go to Irving's Furniture, long out of business, and we buy this bedroom set. We go through and we have the delivery schedule and everything else, and they write up this receipt, and the guy hands it to me. And I'm processing this thing, and I'm saying, there's nothing on this purchase order signed by Irving's Furniture. I signed it, but they didn't. And I'm sitting there saying, how do I get them to sign this? But I don't want to sound like I'm this whippersnapper young law student. I don't want to sound obnoxious. I'm all worried about how to do that. And I kind of sheepishly say to the guy, listen, I'm in law school. I do contracts is one of my favorite topics. It always says you need a writing signed by the party to be charged. Just humor me. I don't want to make a big deal of this, but do me a favor, just initial this. He goes, what do I got to initial it for? We've been in business for 35 years. What are you worried about? I'm not worried about it, but I just don't want to disappoint my law professor. Can't you just do me a favor? I mean, I'm spending all this money in law school. So he initials it and gives it back to me. Sure enough, when it comes time for delivery of the furniture, no furniture. No bedroom set. I call, I'm getting the stall and the runaround. I call, I'm getting the stall and the runaround. Finally, I make some other calls. Other people in the furniture business. Oh, Irving's, your product must be on hold because they don't pay their bills. They probably can't get your furniture. They probably haven't gotten it. That's why they can't deliver it. So now I go into the aggressive mode and I send the nasty letter saying, unless you deliver my bedroom set within X period of time, I'm going to buy another bedroom set similar in quality, but it's going to be twice as expensive and I'm going to sue you for the difference. I send that letter off. 2 days later, they call and they're making the delivery the following Friday at our apartment, and they bring the whole thing in, and Irving's son was the delivery guy of the furniture, and he was also the salesman. And he goes through the whole thing, and he delivers everything, and my wife and I were both happy. And he brings in this big, heavy mirror. And I said to him, isn't it possible for you to hang the mirror? And he looks at me and he says, for you, I would do nothing. And he turns and he walks out. So what did he do? And I remembered that little initial, and that way I could enforce the contract against him. If not, they would have never delivered that furniture. That's the moral of the story on Irving's furniture. Now, last story, 30 seconds. I said, perfect tender rule, you buy the car, it's defective. I had a client where he bought a yacht, and he had it for 2 years, and he wanted to get rid of it because it was bearing him an expense. And he said there was an engine rattle in it. So what did we do? We returned the yacht 2 years later with a letter revoking the acceptance. Now, we knew that that was a weak position to take, but we then negotiated a good deal on getting him out from the rest of the obligation on the yacht to the bank. So it's a strategic play sometimes that you have to do to get out from under something you don't like. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.